Welcome to Reds Focus LFC fans. Today we bring you the top 4 breaking Liverpool news headlines. Let's dive in. First one. Why Alexander Isak's strike would not happen at Liverpool as Arne Slot takes. Newcastle, swipe Premier League champions Liverpool face. Burnley on Sunday as Arne Slot's men look to continue their 100% start to the new campaign, with a $125 million Alexander Isak now amongst their ranks after his protracted move from Newcastle. Liverpool didn't move on to other targets. Instead, they waited and they held out for Alexander Isak. There may not have been many, or any, better strikers they could have gone for, but there certainly would have been easier deals to have been done. Isak, 25, was on strike, and Newcastle were refusing to entertain negotiations after turning down an opening gambit of $110 million from the Reds. Liverpool had to sit out as the Magpies. Missed out on multiple striker targets as a search across Europe for a potential Isak replacement almost turned to farce. Yet they didn't panic and go elsewhere. They knew they would get their man. So the question was, apart from the obvious with his goals, why did it have to be Isak or nobody else, especially after landing Hugo Ekitike earlier in the window? It was quite simply the fact that 54 of his career goals have come in 86 Premier League appearances. I think many reasons, but one that maybe stands out for me is that he has already shown this in the Premier League, said Liverpool boss Arne Slot. I think he is the only exception we made in terms of signings. He is a little bit older than the rest, still quite young, but a bit older, and showed himself in the Premier League. We know that if he stays fit, he will be able to score goals for us. What he adds as well is enormous pace, and he can score with both feet, with his head, all these kind of things. That he has already done this in the Premier League is of course something extra. Isak, who could make his debut from the bench in tomorrow's clash with Burnley at Turf Moor, has come under fire for the way he forced his move to Anfield. The Sweden striker refused to take part in pre-season and trained alone, which forced Eddie Howe's hand at St. James Park. That has rightly raised questions about his attitude and character. Slot does not fear that would be the case at Liverpool, though. He believes the club is somewhere that, if the right price is met, they allow players to leave, so there's no need to force their way out. No, not at all, he said. It is not necessary at our club because we also trade players. If a player wants to leave and we get the right money for him, then this club has shown for so many years now that we then do sell. At this club, it is not necessary at all to go on strike. I think it will have the opposite effect. You can keep on training here and Harvey Elliott gets his transfer. Tyler Morton gets his transfer. There were maybe 8, 9, 10 players in the last window who just conducted themselves in the best possible way, and we are a club that is trading, so maybe write this down for every agent that has a player here. It is not necessary. If the right price is paid by the right club for the right player, then this club has shown we always do sell because we need this to get our players in. That is different. That is a very positive thing at this club. You get your transfer if everyone is happy. Liverpool transfer news is contract for Jarell Quansah to return agreed. The latest Liverpool transfer news and gossip as all the pieces already seem to be in place for Jarell Quansah, who only left the Reds 2 months ago to return to Anfield. Liverpool has reportedly already agreed the terms of a contract for Jarell Quansah should he return to the club in the future. The Reds allowed Quansah to leave at the beginning of August as he joined Bayer Leverkusen, with the young center-back pushing for the move due to a desire to play regular first-team soccer. Liverpool is in something of a transitional period in the center of its defense, with prospective teenager Giovanni Leone having been signed from Parma last month. The Reds also came within whiskers of getting a deal for Mark Guehi over the line on deadline day, a deal which could have resulted in Joe Gomez being sold. Ibrahima Konate, too, is facing an uncertain future at Liverpool as his contract at Anfield is due to expire next summer, while the seemingly evergreen Virgil van Dijk is sadly not that, and he is now into his 35th year. Liverpool has arguably managed its recruitment better than any other team in the Premier League over the last decade, and Reds fans will be confident of the club getting the defensive revamp right over the next couple of years. If Liverpool were to re-sign Quansah and also get a deal for Guehi over the line next year, that pair, along with long-term bet Leone, would leave the Reds' defense looking extremely stable in the years ahead. Liverpool was not pushing for Quansah to be sold this summer, but when Leverkusen offered $35 million, $47 million, and Quansah signaled his willingness to develop elsewhere, the club was happy to sanction a conditional sale. The conditions were that the deal would include a buyback clause, allowing Liverpool to re-sign Quansah for a set fee, which is reported to exceed $70 million, while a contract has also been agreed with the player ahead of a possible return to Anfield at some point down the line, according to The Athletic. Meanwhile, Spanish outlet Fichajes is still linking Liverpool with a move for Angelo Stiller, the German midfielder who was the subject of speculation over a possible move to Anfield throughout the transfer window. While Stiller is an interesting option, reports by Fichajes should always be taken with a pinch of salt. However, considering Liverpool did not sign a new number 6 to challenge Ryan Gravenberch during the summer, it's logical to think that could be a priority position to strengthen in next year. Real Madrid gets major injury blow that could trigger 2 Liverpool transfers. Real Madrid reportedly wants to sign Ibrahima Konate from Liverpool next summer, but the club could now be tempted to bring its pursuit of the defender forward to January. Speculation linking Ibrahima Konate with a move to Real Madrid has quietened down somewhat since the transfer window closed, but one suspects that is only temporary. After months of constant spinning, the rumor mill has slowed. But Konate's future will be back on the agenda before long, considering his contract situation at Anfield. The French centre-back has not signed a new deal with Liverpool since joining the club in 2020, and while he is already part of one of the very best squads in world soccer, it is never good news for a player's current club when Madrid is lurking. Konate has been linked with a move to the Bernabeu for several months, and next summer he will be available to sign for a new club for nothing. Madrid has made a habit of signing high-profile free agents in recent years, with David Alaba, Antonio Rudiger, and Kylian Mbappe all picked up on free transfers. Trent Alexander-Arnold, too, would have moved to the Spanish capital for nothing had this summer's Club World Cup not started, while he was still originally scheduled to be contracted to Liverpool. Even with that in mind, the $10 million, $12 million fee that Madrid paid Liverpool to sign Alexander-Arnold in June was still nowhere near the player's $75 million, $88 million market value. One of those free signings from a previous year, Rudiger has just suffered a serious injury that could prompt Madrid to accelerate its planned swoop for Konate. Rudiger has an anterior rectus injury in his left leg and is not expected to return until December at the earliest. Coincidentally, a similar thing happened last year. Madrid's interest in Alexander-Arnold was well known when Dani Carvajal, Madrid's first-choice right-back, sustained a serious injury that kept him out for a very long period of time. Madrid made an informal approach to sign Alexander-Arnold last January, but Liverpool quickly shut the Spanish giant down, with Madrid being forced to wait until the summer to land the England right-back. Could a similar approach be made during the 2025-26 winter window? For Konate, if Rudiger's injury keeps him out for longer than feared, or even if he comes back and isn't quite the same player, Rudiger will be 33 in March, and Konate could be viewed as the German's ideal long-term successor at Madrid. There's no chance that Liverpool would let Konate go in the middle of the season without landing a replacement, but given Marc Guehi is also in the same situation as Konate at Crystal Palace, it's not out of the question that we end up seeing a couple of high-profile defenders move to new clubs in January. Arne Slot delight at Liverpool star staying. Arne Slot has got what he wanted. He was reportedly delighted to learn one Liverpool star is staying. Arne Slot went into his first season as Liverpool boss with Jurgen Klopp's squad. The only addition for Slot was Federico Chiesa, a last-minute signing who he barely used. Oh, how things have changed this time around. Slot may have won the Premier League title with that group, but he has immediately overseen massive turnover as he helps build his own squad. It's meant key players have left, with several more having opportunities to. Chiesa was one of those, in fact, but he's opted to remain at Anfield. Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz both left in big-money moves, however. Harvey Elliott and Jarell Quansah both departed for decent fees and buyback clauses, too. Trent Alexander-Arnold left to kick off the summer, along with Koyman Kelleher. The window ended with Kostas Tsimikas accepting a loan move away, too. That's 7 players moved on by Liverpool who were heavily involved in the first-team squad last season. But as we say, there were chances for more to leave, and Slot is reportedly delighted that one of those players rejected the chance to depart. Andy Robertson stays. Andy Robertson had the chance to leave Liverpool this summer. Atletico Madrid certainly offered him a move, while the Athletic claims AC Milan also tried to sign the Scot. But that report also claims Slot was delighted that Robertson ultimately stayed with Liverpool. In fact, his reaction was to hand the left back the vice-captaincy. Now we'll see if Robertson sticks around longer than that. We're not at all surprised that Slot wanted him to stay, however, as his own words suggested as much. Robertson is as experienced as it gets in the role, after all. He's won everything and was at one point quite comfortably the best left back on the planet. His form arguably dropped last season, hence Milos Kerkez arriving, but he remains an integral part of the squad, and one who we do feel will ultimately get a new contract. Because that's the real story here. Slot is delighted to have Robertson, but will that secure him a longer deal? The current one expires at the end of the season, after all.